In this video, we're going to learn how to create a simple collectible system for the 2D platformer and also a basic UI system to go along with it. So when we pick up a gem within this game, it will update the value in our top right hand corner of our screen, essentially. Okay, so what you want to do is first, again, right click on our master actor and create a child blueprint class and call this BP underscore. I'm going to call this gem, just in case for any reason you might have called your key collectible. So just so you know the difference between the two. Then what we're going to do is make sure that in our assets there is a sprite that looks like a diamond. Okay, again just right click, go to sprite actions and create sprite, and then rename it to collectible or gem, whatever makes it easier for you to remember. And then just open up your BP gem blueprint. And again, we kind of know what we have to do. So source sprite, change this to our collectible sprite, but instead of scaling this up to 2, so it's instead of like making it the same size as all our other sprites, I'm just going to make it slightly smaller. So I'm going to change this to 1.5 instead, just so you can see the difference between the gems and other stuff within our platform again. Then I am going to add, then I'm going to again make sure similar to the spike enemy, change the collision presets from lock all to no collision, but then add a box collision component, change the box extent to I think it would be like 5, but a bit more actually, and then 2.4. Yeah, I kind of want that a bit bigger, so we'll do 8 by 8, maybe a bit more, so 9 by 9. Yeah, that'll do. So, change my mind, make it 10. Oh, not 109. Make it 10. There you go. Like that. Better be safe than sorry. So, I'm happy with where that is. So what I'm going to do is scroll down with the box still selected and select the on component begin overlap event to take us straight to our event graph. Then out of our actor, I'm going to search for deeply player. So it's going to be cast into that. So when our player interacts with the box, we can essentially pick it up. Then before I do anything else, I'm going to open my BP player. If you haven't already done that, make sure you do. And essentially you want to click a new variable, so press the plus button, rename it to collectible or gems, and then change it from whatever it is before, possibly a boolean, to a integer. Not an integer 64, just an integer, or you can use a float. It's up to you. Kind of the same thing, but either one works. Then compile, and then make sure that the default value is set as 0. Alright, then you're going to hop back over to our BP gem blueprint, and then out of as BP player, I'm going to search for get collectible or get gem, however you name that variable in our player blueprint, and then out of the collectible, I'm going to search for plus, add float, or add integer. Make sure the second value is set as 1 or whatever value you want to be added on, essentially. So is your gem a value of 1 or is it a value of 10, that sort of thing. So I'm just making my gem a simple, just if 1 gem has been collected, then it will just update the text in our HUD to 1. Then out of BP player again, as BP player, we're going to search for set collectible. All right. Then connect this up like so. Make sure the last dot of the add node is connected to that collectible on our set. And then last thing I'm going to do is out of set, search for destroy actor. Okay. So you could also add a sound effect after this, so to signal that it's been picked up, which would be good to use. So all you have to do is just search for play 2D, play sound 2D. Okay. Then you just drag and drop like a WAV file basically into the assets, and then obviously that sound effect will play and then it'll get destroyed. So you might want to add a delay as well, just to make sure that, you know, it plays it first and then gets destroyed for how many seconds that sound effect is. But I don't have one, so I'm just going to delete it and just connect that directly like so. Alright, and then I'm going to compile and save that. So that's technically our collectible ready. Okay, so if I go into our level now, and then I'm going to add our gem into our level. Oh, it's disappeared. Just move it there, just so I can show you. And then again, make sure the y-axis is set to 0 in our location, so our player can interact with it. So if I press play now, and I have my player interact, it's basically picked it up. Okay, so that's basically the collectible done. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. But other than having a sound, it will also be good to have that UI to show the player that it's been picked up, and you know there's actually a score system to it, essentially, and making further improvements to that gameplay. So what I'm going to do, I've created a new folder in my blueprints just to separate from our regular blueprints, and I've just renamed it to UI. Then you're going to open up this UI, right click, but instead of selecting the blueprint class option, I'm going to go to the blueprints, not the blueprint, sorry, the user interface section at the bottom here, and select a widget blueprint. So widgets are your UIs. Okay, so use a widget. All right, and select that one. I'm going to, instead of calling this BP for blueprint, I'm going to call this WB for widget blueprint. And then, so WB underscore player UI, like so. And then I'm going to double click this up. So what's nice, it's quite simple to use. So on default, it's basically in the designer view of our UI. So, you know, when you want to add like images, you know, buttons, text, that sort of thing, this is the area to do it. And then to actually create some functionality to it, you've then got the graph version of it. Yeah, so it's basically the event graph that we've got. So what we're going to do is first create a canvas. So I'm in my palette area. I'm going to search for a canvas panel, and I'm going to drag this just directly in the hierarchy onto the WB player UI. So this canvas is basically allowing us to now add, you know, text and images where we want to, and not like be thrown off the screen. So if a screen size is changed depending on a player's monitor, that sort of thing, it can adjust it automatically for us, which is really good. Then I'm going to add 2 text boxes, okay, to our canvas panel. I'm going to call this first text box collectible, text. All right, and then actually call the text, so saying text block, to say collectible semicolon. All right, and then I'm going to make it in the middle, but change the anchors to be put into the top right hand corner. So I'm going to hold Control, hold Shift, and just click this square icon in the top right hand corner, and it will automatically shift it over like so. Then I'm just gonna move the box area out like so. So you just change the size on the X value, and just make it a whole number, change it to 215. Just so I'm happy with that. Now with the second one, I'm going to call this collectible value text, and then change the text instead of text block. I'm just going to put this to 0. And again, put this in the middle, anchor it doing Control Shift into the top right hand corner, but then I'm going to move it down and then just put it in the center like so. I think I'm happy with that. So now, it's saying collectible, and then it will adjust depending on how many gems we pick up. But we actually want to, link it, and basically when we've picked up a collectible, it will change this number. So what you want to do is, with the collectible value text selected, where we've changed the text to say 0, there is an option that says bind. Okay, what we're going to do is create a binding. So it's basically creating a function for our UI system. So what we're going to do is, out of get collectible value text, I'm going to search for get all actors of class, and then our actor class is going to be our BP player. Then out of out actors, just search for get a copy, and then out of get a copy node, we're going to search for our get collectible or get gem, variable that was created in our BP player. And then all you want to do is just connect our collectible to the return value, and it will automatically do it for us to create, like, updating the text essentially. So that is now all set up, ready. Simple as that. Last thing now that we just want to do is go back into our player and actually add the player UI to our viewport for our player, so it's attached. So to do this, what you want to do is essentially first add a sequence node. So our first sequence is our respawn location for our player, and then one out of that one, I'm going to search for a create widget, change the class to be our UI. So if you just search WB, it should just pop up instantly like so, and then out of the return value, search for add to viewport like so, and that's it. So if you add any more stuff that needs to be in big in play as well, you just need to press add pin, and then obviously just move these up a bit, and then you can add multiple underneath. But yeah, so just make sure you press compile and save, and make sure that's done to all the other ones as well. So now if we press play, you can see that the collectible text with the 0 is in the top right, and then if we click this gem, it'll change to 1. Okay, like so. And then if we die, let's first say, it will still save that as 1. Unless you do want to reset it, and then you can find out how to do that. Just setting the values back to 0 essentially with a reset node. But I think it's just good to just keep it as it is, so the player can see, gems that have already been picked up, and then gems that they still need to pick up within the level, rather than it being totally reset. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate this a few times. I'm going to have maybe just one here and one there, and then I might have one just at the end to reward the player for getting over those falling platforms. So now if we press play, click that one, we'll get that one and that one. Nice. Click the key, jump platforms, click that other one, progress through. There you go. And obviously progress through the level. But yeah, that's how to create a simple collectible system with a UI. Yeah, so in the next video, I'm going to teach you how to create a enemy AI that moves from left to right. So we've got a stationary spike enemy already, but now we're actually going to have a moving one. And then you're going to think about, after that, learn how to create a health system with like hearts. So like 3 lives, and then if you lose all 3, then you die and reset back. But yeah, that is upcoming tutorials. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.